Yay!
Yay! Here we are. I didn't do any intro because I didn't feel like it. Hi everyone.
They're getting what they're getting today.
What you get today? So we are joined today by Dee Dee as our co-host. We were going to be joined by Foxanne, but those darn grandkids got her sick. So maybe wish her well because she's not feeling very good. But Dee Dee and I are going to hold down the fort. So Dee Dee's going to help with chat for me because I don't have glasses on, so I can't really read the chat for one. And I guess you guys get to just look at my torso. Because my head is But we're going to scape an Oase Biorb. This is the second Oase Biorb I have scaped. I have one other one, and it's doing really well. I really like it. I like the look of it.
It is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's almost no upkeep. I water it maybe once every 2 months, and that's it.
It is pretty
No
cool.
fertilizing. There's no trimming. It just looks good. So I bought this one in January. The upsides to them, I think they look really cool. They're big. This one is, I don't know, I think 17 gallons or something. It's pretty big. And it has an integrated mister and a light. And it's pretty easy to use. It's easy to set up. It's very plug and play. So I like that. The downside to it, it's really expensive for what you get. I think the retail price of these they're about $500. And it's hard to see where $500 is. So I can't really in good conscience recommend them because they're so much money. But that said, I have 2 of them. But this one I did get 25% off. It was on sale at my fish store, the Reef in Indianapolis. And so I bought it. And, this was my birthday present. So there you go.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to me. And I've had plants for it for a while. And it just has to get planted because these little plants are drying out and it's getting hot out. And this just had to happen. So we're going to start doing some assembly on this. So it has this little false bottom and it has 2 pieces that snap together. And I already did that. And it has this piece of felt and that will wick the water up to the false bottom. And false bottoms are really important for terrariums. So whether you do it with gravel or this little contraption, and that helps water drain away from it. And
June is asking the brand again.
It's made by Oase, O-A-S-E. And I do
Fancy.
really like it. And, if you have a birthday coming up, it's, they're pretty great. It's just there's so much money. So,
Jenna says, so Kelly does recommend having other people buy it for us for special occasions.
I do recommend that, June. I do. You know what? It's a pretty great thing to ask for your birthday or Christmas because they're really cool. So
they
I
are
have
nice.
Little tabs that fit in over, and then the little tabs will dangle down into the reservoir, and the reservoir holds, I'm going to say it's like over a liter of water. So it's really nice. You don't have to water it much at all. I guess it depends on what plants you have, your climate, blah, blah, blah. But for me, it's been really easy care. So I'm just inserting the tabs down here. Nothing too difficult. And I'm not mechanically inclined, and I managed to put it together, so it must be easy.
Well, now that's a point that everybody needs to know because Kelly does not DIY.
I don't. I DIY nothing. If you were a clever sort, you could probably make a really cool one out, a terrarium out of, they have big glass globes that look really good. But this is nice. It's just works. So I'm putting this down into here. And then setting it in place.
Well, you said it's kind of pricey, but it does have its own light. It does have its own water mister thingy, which
Yep, it
if
does.
you
And
have
it
to
has
buy that separate from other systems.
yeah,
So
and it has its timer. So I don't know that you would want to keep animals in here. I'm not really an expert in terrarium animals like frogs. I don't really know a lot about them. So I would hate to suggest to you to keep. So there's a little center plug. I think that we need to set this over this first. And then that will hold. Yep, there we go. So there's a little plug. And then that clips this in place. There we go. All set up.
there,
Easy.
now we're cooking with Crisco.
That's right. So that was really easy. But yeah, I mean, maybe you could keep little dart frogs in it, but I'm not really knowledgeable about those, so I can't really tell you. I'm not willing to keep dart frogs because I have cultured enough fruit flies in my life, and I am done. So, all right. So next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna build our scape. I have some substrate. I have a whole box of it made up here. So it's nice to make up your substrate ahead of time and let it soak with water overnight. So this substrate is made of, this is Tanner Serpa's recipe, and it's what I use for all of my terrariums. And it is 2 parts of sphagnum moss and 1 part of coconut coir, so that's coconut fiber, 1 part of horticultural charcoal. You could use any charcoal. You could use activated aquarium charcoal. It's fine. 1 part of plain sand, and 1 part of orchid bark. You could use any bark. And that's it. There's no additional fertilizers. This will be a bioactive terrarium because I will put 1 animal in it, and that is springtails. And they are an itty bitty, like the size of a pinpoint, little white arthropod, and they eat decaying matter. They will eat the orchid bark and the coconut coir, and they will poop out fertilizer for the plants. They will eat molds. They'll keep everything nice and healthy. And I highly recommend getting springtails for your terrarium. I did put a culture of isopods in my other one, but I've never seen them. So maybe they're there. I don't know. But
I
anyway.
keep adding to mine when I find them in the yard.
Oh yeah,
But
you can do that too. Mine are dairy cow isopods. They look kind of cool, but I've never seen them, so what does it matter? But I could put
the
some.
plecos or the bioorbs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no kidding. I mean, but I could put some like little pill bugs from outside. So what do you call them? Do you call them roly polies?
I call them roly polies.
Yeah. So I grew up calling them either pill bugs or sow bugs.
Now, June says she's got one very similar. It's not the Oase, I guess, but she said it's still in the box.
All right.
But, with the cat, she don't think she'll get it up soon. So,
I get that. My cats don't seem to go to the shelf where this is. They don't seem to care. They don't care about this. They like the aquariums because they like to watch the fish, but they don't care about this. So, but anyways, you want to make your substrate the night before because it takes a long time for all that sphagnum and coconut fiber to hydrate. And so what I did was I just mixed this up in a box outside, and then I just completely saturated it with water and let it soak overnight. And then I went outside and I wrung out some of the water, not all of the water. We'll wring out a little more just so it's not quite so heavy. This box weighs a ton. And we're going to use this for our substrate. So it's pretty inexpensive, and it really does work. The Oase Biorb comes with a brick of coconut fiber. I would not use just that. That's not really nutritious enough. I would mix that with amendments, but you can use the substrate they gave you, but I would mix these other goodies in with it. So anyways, we're gonna get started. So another downside to this is that this is acrylic and it will scratch really easily. And there is sand in this mix, so I need to be a little careful. But we're going to start adding some in. And I'm going to build it up at the back here because I want lots and lots of room for planting. So I'm just going to start.
Roxanne is here, and she said she has a zebra isopod culture with 1 million babies.
Wow! You know what? I'm going to have to get some of those from you, maybe. Because maybe I can put some of them in here.
Yeah.
I've never seen the ones I put in the other one. Maybe they didn't make it.
Well,
I don't know. I had some really cold weather.
knowing Roxanne, hers come out for feeding time and eat out of her hand.
Probably. I don't even feed them. I mean, you're not supposed to have to feed them if they're in a
I know.
terrarium. So.
But if you've ever gotten any of her snails, they come up to eat. Like, give me mine personally.
I mean, she sings to them every night. Brian reads them a bedtime story. Yeah. She gives them a kiss before she sends them off. They're very loved creatures. So just
now, can you get springtails like off leaves that are like in your? We have a wooded area in our back.
Yeah.
The little white bugs, is that springtails that are around the bottom by the leaves and stuff when you flip them over?
They might be. They might also be a pest. I would have to see them. So I would be pretty careful what you're putting in. If anybody wants springtails, like I'm gonna give you some. Because yeah.
Well, I thought I'm going to be a Miss Natural, and so I went out there and found my wood and everything for this last terrarium that I made. And I thought, well, I'm going to scoop up a whole bunch of those oak leaves and all the little roly-polies and everything stuck to it. So I scooped it up and I dropped it in my witch's bucket, brought it in the house, set everything up, and I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. Now I did add some things that keep cells, the botanicals, the pretty little pieces on top of that. But apparently, I also scooped up a water bug.
Oh no.
Because I looked up and on the glass was this bug about 3 inches long, and that means I had that thing in my hands. And look, I've stood up to inmates when they said they were going to bust my head open to the white meat and didn't show fear. You let one of the bugs touch me, and I'll probably tear up a couple of tanks getting out of here.
So those inmates should have threatened you with a water bug.
Yes. Now I have caught him. But it took me months. And I think I got him. Well, I got one. So I hope there's no more in there. Oh. Tommy says he would love to, but he needs to get him some new different cultures to keep going for sure. So they're talking about floating them in the water so that the fish could eat them. Okay.
I've tried that and my rainbows don't seem to care about them, which is strange to me, but maybe they're just too tiny. Maybe I think Fry would probably like them though. They're so easy to raise. You can really neglect them and they are fine. All right, so I started building this up a little. So for hardscape, I have I have some wood. I don't have a lot of spider wood left, and I don't think I will mostly use this. I think I'll keep this to the end.
So I notice on these, you don't build up stuff on the bottom to raise maybe like the backside like you do in aquariums.
No, I will raise up the back. I'm going to tilt up the back, but I'm going to terrace it with this is
okay.
Stone. And I have a bunch of dragonstone, so let's just see what we've got. I'm kind of moving away from dragonstone in my aquariums because it raises the KH, and I don't like that. But
I thought it didn't.
Yeah, it's limestone. I mean, it does raise your KH. So, this isn't dragonstone. This is Sirius stone. Dragonstone would be fine. This is Sirius stone.
Oh, okay.
But it's great in a terrarium. It's nice to build with. It looks good. And I have it, so I didn't have to buy anything new. I'm not going to use the really big pieces because this is not that big of a thing. So just taking out some of the smaller pieces in the box, and I don't know. We'll just kind of. I don't have any plan. I don't have any. We'll just see what we do. So if I were, I'm not trying to make like a scape that's like a, you know, a mountain scenery or, you know,
Yours
I'm not
is more like a natural scape.
what?
It's more like just a natural setting,
Yeah, just
not
like
a.
a little slice of the forest. That's kind of what I want it to look like. And honestly, these rocks will get grown over in no time. So I'm not going to worry about it too much. Let's see. I really like this piece. So when you scape with cereal stone, like not every side of it looks attractive. So you kind of have to think like how you want it to go.
And Tommy now has some of Roxanne's longfin corridors because he
Ooh,
got Bunny's fish for her.
right. Oh, that's nice. I hope they breed for you. I hope you make lots of them. I have my nose itches. Not that you can see my nose. Just see a torso. So I'm trying not to make too giant of a mess, but well, what do you do?
I don't know that I could do it without making a mess.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll start with that piece. That's a nice big piece. I kind of want to tilt it that way, I think. And then the nice thing is I can terrace behind that to help me build things up. Unlike with aquascaping an aquarium, you put the substrate in and it stays. It does not roll down the hill. It just sticks where you put it. So I think it's much, much easier to scape. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that piece. I don't know. We'll think about it. Right?
Well, you know how it is. You like something, then when you make a change, at first you don't like it, like your hair. You change the color of your
Right.
hair, and at first you're like, "Oh my God, I wish I hadn't
Oh
done
my
it."
God.
And then in 2 hours, you're like, you can't keep your hands out of it.
Right. So, I mean, this is the phase where we are just playing, seeing what we get. And I'm not going to worry too much about this because it will get overgrown. This is not a competition. I'm entering this in zero competitions. This is just for my office. So,
Well, it would make a pretty office for sure.
it does. It does spruce up my office. I spend so much time in there,
Now, do you leave the lights on at night for a while or something without everything else on?
It is on a 12-hour schedule. You just plug it in and it goes for 12 hours. There's no preset, so I run it from noon to midnight.
Because that would be really pretty in a bedroom to be like set to go off at like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah. But the way this timer is it just goes 12 hours. So you would have to put it on some sort of different timer. But
Well, or just plug it in when you want it the 12 hours to start, right?
you could have it turn on to wake you up in the morning. That'd be kind of nice. Not the
Oh
worst.
no! If it's not going to shake me, that's not going to work.
I have my lights programmed to come on in the morning to help wake me up, and it does help. Like, especially in the winter. All right, going there. A little higher. Yeah, just here over. Don't mind me just banging it.
Yeah, it's yours. Treat it the way you want to.
I guess.
Zen Ginger wants to know if the power surges, do you have to then wait until that time of the day to plug it back in again?
Yeah,
to make it time right.
Not a problem. But yeah, that's what you do. So like to set this at noon. I mean, I'll plug it in now to make sure it works and everything, but I'll start it at noon so they all come on together. So
Cool.
but yeah, it's very unsophisticated, but it doesn't need to be that complicated, I guess. So I don't know. How are we feeling about that?
That's like I have one of those aquarium lights with the 24/7 timer.
Uh-huh.
And every once in a while I luck up and I get it right.
Oh,
And then the power might blink. And then it's like, oh my God, it takes me like 18 weeks to get it right again. I
yeah.
hate that light.
I would hate that light too. So I'm not very happy with this. So I'm gonna move this big piece out of the way. All right, I wanna move this one up. Like that better. I don't know. I mean, this would be easier if I had more pieces to choose from, but I don't.
Well, there's nothing wrong with working with what you've got.
I agree. And this is not a competition. This is let's see.
That's part of being crafty is being able to take stuff and make something better using it.
Yeah.
Now, everybody can't do it, and sometimes you can do it better than other times, but every once in a while you just get darn lucky.
And I am not good at DIY, but I'm crafty. I'm artistic, I guess. So I think I like that better right there.
Oh yeah, you are a crafter.
I'm a crafty critter. That's what my sister says. I'm a crafty critter because she is not a crafty critter, which is fine.
Yeah. I prefer apps, like all my football, like all that's so easy because I have the app and I can
like
just
that too,
work it.
But these,
But
I
this
don't
other one, you have to do it, and the instructions that come with it don't really. I don't know. It don't seem to really work. I've had to go back and watch videos, and and then when you do it, it's like, okay, I won't forget where I found that, but you do.
I really like the Fluval app. I think it's very easy to use. These
And
though,
of course, I use the Casa timers for plain Jane low cheapo lights because I can plug those in and
I use those
do them easy.
I think they work really good for CO2. So I do like Casa timers, but this is just such a simple system. It's just lights on, 12 hours, lights off. You're not trying to control algae. You're not. I mean, it just doesn't need the sophistication.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I always tell people for their seeds and their indoor plants, buy cheap lights. Just buy cheap lights. You don't need the power, especially like terrarium plants are woodland plants, so they don't like high light. So it's there's no need to go too crazy. For my other terrariums that I've made, I have a couple. I just use really cheap lights, really cheap houseplant lights. I think they were like $20 for 2 lights. So just a little bit this way. So I'm gonna kind of do. So when I arrange stones, I kind of try to have like a line of energy pointing someplace. So I'm trying to make a pathway, and I would like it to point like this way or this way.
Okay.
Because that's kind of gives your eyes like a dynamic movement to follow. I also like odd numbers. So
yes,
that's always the most pleasing.
And thank you, Anthony. First class fish. Lady R came in late, wanted to know the mixture you were using, but he did explain it was the Tanner Serper Okay. And
Yeah,
now that stuff is kind of cool to go ahead and mix up a bigger box and just don't add the water to it yet, right? And then when you want to do something
yeah,
that's already pre-mixed and you just grab the amount you need out.
yeah, exactly. I usually, I just mix up as whatever the limiting reagent is. It's usually the sphagnum. I mix up all I can, and I keep it in a bin. And I mean, like if there's leftovers of this, I'll just let it dry out. I'll keep the
Uh-huh.
cover off of it on the porch and just let it dry out so it's ready. I mean, you can also keep it damp. You can culture your springtails in it if you want.
Ooh.
So then it's like ready to go for that. But then it's ready for other projects. I mean, it's cheaper than aqua soil, but you do need to buy a lot of little components. So I think that you can buy this pre-made. It's also called the Atlanta Botanical Gardens or ABG recipe. And you can buy it from Josh's Frogs if you don't feel like mixing it. And if you just want to make a little tiny terrarium, maybe that's the way to go. Because you don't have to buy all the components. I don't know. How do I feel about this? We're getting close. Gotta look at it over here. I mean, I do like how it feels like the path is kind of curving up and to the left. Maybe it does need another piece to guide your eye up there. Let's see if I have any smaller pieces. This piece. I mean, I have a couple of really big pieces, but that's not what I want. I have a couple of sort of smaller pieces. Maybe I could.
Thank you, Zen Ginger. She posted Josh's Frogs link for you.
Thank you, Zenny. She's a pro level mod. She's pro. She's a pro.
Yeah, she'll do in a pinch.
She's a pro. Oh, it's not bad. So then I'm going to make this just a little higher. You don't want to make this too high because, we're going to probably put some bigger ferns in the back, and they need room to get tall. And there's no need to stress about this too much because the plants will grow. They will overgrow it, But I've got lots of room in the front. And
I did lose several of my little baby African violets.
oh, mine have done pretty well, except I did lose some of them. So when I was in Panama, I live in this old drafty house, and it's really hard to keep things warm. And so I shut the door to my office to try to keep the heat in the core of the house, by my fish and cats. My office is kind of on the extremities, and a whole bunch of my little terrarium plants died, and my African violets, because they just got too cold. So I missed that. I was really glad to miss that week because it got down to minus 17. So it was not good.
Well, I think what happened to mine, I had my old, because I have an anole in mine, but it says it's a mister, but it's actually a water sprayer. And something happened from moving it from the little one to the big one. I must have hit a dial on that thing because it used to last like a good week to 10 days on the container of water. Well, in 3 days, it was dumping out and I was having to add more water. Well, it built up in the bottom. And even though it holds like 5 gallons or 10 gallons of water or something like that, it came all the way up to the top of the soil. And it's like, man, it's going to get soggy and spoil. So I took all the water off and I let it drain back out. So I don't know if it was wet too long. I should have poked the tube down in the gravel, and tried to suction out the water, but I didn't. I let it just naturally, and I would just topically spray some water in there for the lizard,
Oh, yeah.
Aww. But I bought me a new one of those things. It's actually it's like a fogger. So I have to add water from time to time now to give it to my plants, but I use old fish water and I put it down around the plants so they can get the nutrients from that too. But you know, the damage is already done. So next time I go to Wilmington, I have to see if I can find me some more. Now the ones that made it look really good.
Well, that's good.
But you know, you learn sometimes
Well,
the hard way, which is usually how I do.
I've killed many plants in my day. It's always learning. I mean, I do try to research what I grow. I try to give them a fighting chance. I don't buy plants I don't think that I have no clue how to grow. So, but I have killed plants.
Lady R has a question.
Yes.
It says she brought a I know it's an elephant ear, but I don't know how to say the right word.
Alocasia or
Colocasia
colocasia?
from Keith to put in my pond, and it seems to have wilted a bit since being established. It has been a week since it was put in and all.
So is it a caladium or is it an alocasia or a colocasia?
I'm from Keith. It's probably not a caladium.
Okay.
It's going to be like blue Hawaiian, one of those.
Right. So those can usually take full sun, so that be sure it's getting enough light. In my experience with elephant ears, they do look a little wimpy until they get their roots going. They're really hard to keep standing up, and so I usually prop them up with rocks or stakes. But they look sad for a couple weeks, but they will come back. And then they'll come roaring back, especially if they're in full sun, and they will get huge. But they do need some time to establish roots, but they should have a good bulb, so they should be able to do that. So I would give it a little time, be a little patient with it.
Now that's exactly how mine did, because I had when I took my bogs down at the end of the season, I planted all the elephant ears in dirt in garden beds and didn't mark them. So it was like, I don't know which ones are where and where they even are. So I had to kind of wait for them to start sprouting up, and I would pull them as I saw them, and put them in the bogs. And sometimes it kind of like, oh, I don't like this. I like that dirt, but now they've been in there a month or so. Now they're like, hey, I'm strong. I've had Viagra now.
Take a little time, and that's not just for ponds growing though. Like even if I've planted them in the landscape and in containers, they just need a moment to get their roots. And for Lady R, not for you so much, but because you live in a warmer place, but you can at the end of the season you can dig those and store them in your basement. That's what I've done.
Yeah. So y'all have all that.
Yeah, I just cut the foliage off and I pack them in peat that's barely moistened, and I put them in our basement. And our basement is very cold. It's like 50 degrees or less year round, or maybe even year round. It's cold right now too because it's the basement. And
well, you could actually put them, like if you had an extra refrigerator outside, set the temperature in that and store stuff, right?
You can. Just make sure that there are no fruits in that fridge. You can put them in any fridge because fruits will release ethylene gas, which is a plant hormone. So that's what ripens bananas. And fruits give it off, and that will spoil your stored bulbs. But you can store any bulbs that way, just at fridge temps. So, that's a way you can do it. But for me, I can store them in the basement. I don't have to worry about it. I guess there have to be some advantages to living in an old, cold, drafty house. Well,
I mean, there's perks for everything.
That's right. There's, as Grandma used to say, there's advantages to everything. So, I don't know. I feel like
to have a basement, you have to have some airish. So,
that's right.
Junebug got a Mother's Day gift of an African violet, and it was a space violet.
A space violet. That's fun. I love all the cool cultivars of African violets.
Mm-hmm.
trying to find another, like, this is the smallest piece I have left. And I just, yeah, I don't like that at all.
Now, Lady R's asking about the callas. Similar luck with the callas.
Callas do well in ponds. They are not hardy in my zone. I think they're hardy in your zone, Dee Dee. They might be hardy.
Well, I have some. They're struggling because they were in the garden bed too, and I moved them, but they're still hanging in there. They've been in that bog for about a month and a half.
Yeah, I mean, I've grown them once in a pond, and they did okay. We don't have a lot of calla growing experts around here because, you know, they're frost sensitive. So it's like in the garden centers, they don't even have very good ones, like, because people would have to grow them pretty much as annuals. So I've only grown it once, and they did do well. I would just make sure that the crown is out of the water. The roots can be in the water, but like maybe elevate the pot just a little bit, elevate it up another inch or two, and maybe that would help it. Well, how do I feel about this? Oh, I have this piece of rock. Maybe this would help me. I didn't notice this one. Where do I want to put it though?
Well, Coro has himself now a pond. He's got a Home Depot bin, and that's his deck pond.
And Coro, your water lily came back to me, and I haven't opened the box yet. I just shoved it in the fridge because I had too much else to do. But I'm going to try to send that again because it bounced back. Why don't you send me your address again just so I can confirm that that's right? Hopefully it didn't die. I mean, it didn't sit on my porch long. So hopefully, like, the heat didn't kill it. Because it is hot out here. But it's in the fridge.
And this is probably why my African violets died. They got waterlogged. Because June says they have to have a dry crown at bedtime.
Yes. Yes, that is true. So, like, this mister doesn't even run that often. And they have done okay. They've bloomed quite a bit. How do I feel about this? I feel, as I always think when I'm out to sea, you know, I was like, oh, I wish I had more rocks. But I don't.
That's when I'm looking around in my tanks. It's like, is there one I can snake out of there?
Oh man, you are so right. I'm just thinking that now. Like, what can I steal? But believe it or not, there are rocks in that tank behind me. You cannot tell because they are completely overgrown. But there is a bunch of rocks in there. Maybe I need to turn it.
Now, are you going to have a separation of between that rock you've got your hand on and the next one? It's hard for me to see. Or are they touching each other?
No, there's quite a bit of separation. There's like about 2 inches of space right here.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if this rock is going to be here or not. I don't know. I don't know yet. I gotta look at it. And yeah, I don't like that at all. I do not like that at all.
Where did you order your Biorb from?
I bought it at the Reef in Indianapolis, which is a aquarium and terrarium store. So you can
Oh,
buy
that's the one everybody likes too, that store.
it's so nice. I mean, if you came to visit, we would totally take you there. We took Nancy there and
Yeah.
she liked it. It's a very cool store. I bought a lot of plants there. I've never bought fish there. Their fish do look good though. But I haven't bought any fish there. I just don't like that rock there. I don't like it.
But if you take it out completely, well, then that'll make your number wrong.
Well, I mean, I'm not wedded to that number. I just feel like it needs something else. Maybe I need to trade rocks. Maybe this rock needs to go up higher. Maybe I like it better then.
I like the look better already.
I do too. Yeah, that's maybe better.
And Nancy B says that was a very cool store.
Yeah.
That was hard to get out for me.
It is a really nice store. It's really nice. And the people there are very knowledgeable. They have a plant person who just deals with like ordering plants and answering questions about plants. And that's really nice. Like they take plants very seriously there. But the last 2 times I've gone, they've been like totally sold out of tissue culture cups. Because I usually buy my tissue culture cups there. I kind of want the path to just curve to the left a little bit more. Let's see if I can make that happen.
You're going to have to make a song for that.
To the left.
The Windy Road.
It's a good song. I mean, it does look like I'm almost there. How are we doing now? That's not bad.
I'm liking it myself.
It's not bad. Maybe that's what it's going to be.
Yes, Scuba, I am doing the scape art at the Clash.
That's exciting.
Isn't it though?
I think it's great.
Everybody else has a better chance now.
Whatever.
And I'm good with that.
Yeah.
I just have to beat Shady Grady because it's a competition between me and him. So, if I got to trip him or whatever I got to do, I got to beat him.
She's coming for you.
Yeah,
you better work out, Shady. She's coming.
And we do have a in memory of Myrtle aquascape tank.
Oh.
That anybody who wants to bring something so we can put it with the tank, because that one's going to be auctioned off in his memory. And if you're not going to the Clash and you want to send something for us to add, you can send it to me. I'll make sure to carry it up there. And, it would be kind of nice to know that Myrtle's tank got the most at the auction for the club,
And I...
Absolutely, Coro. Send a baby shark. It'll go in there.
I have some myrtle plants.
Well, I don't think it's going to actually have water. I don't know. I think we're just going to
myrtle memorabilia.
Maybe, like a basket type thing.
Yeah. I'll have to think about it.
So
I'll have to think about it.
Because what happened, somebody was on stream one night talking about it. And like I said, as soon as the live stream's over, I'll go in and do it. And while I was, setting my place up in the aquascaping contest, Bob Mennel paid for me to do it. So now I have 2. And it's like, so I'm keeping the one that Bob gave me, because that was kind of him to do that. And the other one's going to go in memory of Myrtle.
Oh, I love that.
And Jenna says that the plan is for everything for that tank will be turned into the Fish Fam Link table at the Clash, and then we'll put it in the tank for the auction, which is a good idea because things do walk sometimes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
We'd appreciate anything that gift certificates, little pieces, whatever, like the baby shark. Other people might not get the irony of that, but anybody that's in the fish family certainly know what that means.
That's right. Not everything is for everyone. Doesn't matter.
And it would be so nice if somebody in the fish fam won that tank too. Because I'm kind of territorial, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, did you see my little clip I posted? Was it last night or today?
I haven't. I didn't see it.
It was from What Your Plants because Stephen said I could use them, and it was the time where Myrtle was trying to mod while y'all were streaming, and you were telling him to stop.
That Myrtle, he loved to mod from Pamela. He was incorrigible.
And you said that's what we pay them for, and he's like, of course, Stephen said checks in the mail, and that was one of my funniest things.
Oh, that's
Shady Grady is already coming up with a way to let me beat him because he's saying it won't be hard to beat me. I still have my halo screwed to my leg from my operation next month. I will be very excited about it, and I hope they put us next to each. Well, I hope that we are next to each other too, Grady. Yeah. But don't come up with excuses. You got to throw it to me now. You can't let me do it easy. It's got to be challenging.
You got to make her work.
If I have to take you down,
you got to make her work for it.
That's right. Nothing comes easy in life if it's worth it.
That's right. I keep messing with this, and I'm not making it better. I'm making it worse.
That's like me in Aquascape. I get it almost right, and then I move something that's like, I shouldn't have messed with it. But, I'm going
to go with
yes,
it.
It is. Yeah, Zen.
I think
gotta give it to me.
I think this is what we're going to go with. So I am going to move this substrate out of the way. I'm going to take it outside. Hopefully it's not as heavy. Do some rearranging.
Look at her all prissy with gloves.
Oh, it's still heavy.
Put your back in it, girl.
I'm just going to set it on the floor. Oh, goodness. Woo! Well, it's not as heavy as it was. And then I'm going to move the plants up. So we have these. And I'll show you everything I'm planting before I plant it, because that's the fun part. This hardscape building. I mean, it's tedious. I know there are people who love building hardscape, but it's not as fun as plants. So that's a tray of moss.
A whole tray of it.
A whole tray. We'll see how much I end up using. I'm not sure yet. So some of these are looking sad. Just so sad. Which is why I had to get them planted. All right. So I've got a box here of African violets. And so I got these from the Violet Barn. And I also bought some little mini baby streptocarpuses. Streptocarpi.
Oh, cool.
So they're a gesneriad, so they're related to African violets, but they look a little different. And these are supposed to be mini varieties. So that's exciting to try. I've never grown those. Well, I have grown them outside. I've grown bigger ones, but I've never grown the babies. So, that'll be fun. And then I have some ferns and some selaginellas, and I've come to find that I really love selaginellas in these terrariums because they just work. They just spread like wildfire. And then for moss, so I bought this moss from Amazon, and you buy moss dehydrated. And a couple hours before this stream, I just took some like room temperature water and poured it on it, and it has plumped back up. So it should spring back to life for us. And I have a whole box of it. I actually have more than this. But this is all I chose to rehydrate. So with plenty of moss, and we have plenty of plants. So let's just see what we want to plant. But I think I'm going to start with the African violets. I really like these. They flower really well. I've got a lot of itty bitties. So this is from the Violet Barn. They're great to shop with. Their shipping is so good. Their packaging is, God, why can't aquarium plants be shipped and packed that well? Like, it just makes me mad. But
Now, on that moss,
mm-hmm.
do you when you order it, do you know if it's the kind of moss that grows in shade or the kind that grows in more drier or versus wet, dark?
All moss like shady, wet conditions, like low light, wet conditions. So that's kind of universal to moss. This is cushion moss, or no, this is mood moss, which has kind of like a fluffy, spirally texture. Let me hold up a smaller piece for you.
Yeah,
but
like hair.
Yeah, it's very fluffy. I like it, but there's different kinds of moss. That's just the one I bought. So I think we're gonna start with these streptocarpus. So these supposedly do not get that big. So they're gonna stay pretty small. I don't remember what flowers they have, but they all have fun names. So this one is called Bristol's Poodle Skirt, which is a super fun name. So
yeah, everybody needs poodle skirt.
Yeah, so I need to get like something to drop dirt into. Hang on, I'm gonna get a bowl.
Wow. Okay.
I know that was loud. This is just something to upend plants into. So I'm gonna start with Bristol's Poodle Skirt. And I'm totally gonna forget what I planted where, and that's just the way it goes. But got a pretty decent root ball. And I don't know where we'll plant this. I think we'll plant this guy. Maybe he should go right here. And I'll just build the substrate up. Well, no, I don't think that's quite enough room. Like right there.
Zen Ginger wants to know if you use latex gloves when you garden outside.
I don't use latex gloves. I do wear gloves though. I wear, like gardening gloves. I'm very dedicated to glove wearing because I can't stand having my fingernails touched. So I always wear gloves. I would be wearing gloves right now, but these are pretty delicate. So I may put them back on though.
Now, I wear gloves in the fish room a lot only because I'm afraid I have touched something and don't want to stick it in the water.
Yeah. That's good. All right, so the next one, this is another streptocarpus. I only have two of them. This one is called Bristol's Dust Bunny. I love these things.
Dust bunnies.
And so one of the aquascaping rules is that what you do to one side, you should do to the other. And I don't always follow that, but, it's something to think about to give you balance. And these are not the same variety, so,
Some yin and some yang.
It's not going to be perfectly symmetrical, but, I have one streptocarpus on each side. And I'm going to add just a little bit of substrate around those. Just
Now,
so
Zen has given us a mission, and that is to touch your fingernails just for shits and giggles.
I will fight you. No.
Hey, Kelly's not a little tiny woman. She's tall.
And in college, I was a national champion black belt in Taekwondo and formed
Ooh.
sparring. So I
Meow.
know, if provoked, I could attack. So here's a story about my fingernails. So I'm a very easygoing person, but I don't like my fingernails touched. And I went on a date with this guy. And we went to a movie and he wanted to hold hands. Okay, fine. We can hold hands. That's nice. But then he starts like petting my fingernails and I pull him away and I go, no. And then he goes, and he grabs my hand and he keeps doing it. I'm like, would you fucking knock it off? Like, I do not consent to that. There was no second date.
Well, he was just trying to warm you up to see how you felt before he moved to the toes.
Yeah. Well, 2 weeks later, I met Jake, and Jake has never done that.
Does he just know, or did you tell him?
I did tell him because it's a funny story, but he also wouldn't do it because I don't like it. All right, so we're gonna put in some more African violets. I have lots of them. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. We're not going to use all 6 because I have a couple of bare spots in my other terrarium where the frost took them out. So I have this one. They have such fun names. This one is Rob's Combustible Pigeon. And this one gets kind of big. Not like big, but like it needs room. So I think we're going to put him like right there and give it lots of room. But then I have some itty bitty bitties. So this one is Rob's Bunny Pop. And it's variegated pink. It was blooming before it had pink flowers. It was really pretty. See, I have Rob's Twinkle Blue. This one stays very tiny. SK First Love. This one stays very tiny. And Texas Teen. This one stays pretty tiny. And then this one is Rob's Cool Fruit. I love these names. And this one.
Yeah, Rob was very active.
Yeah, so Rob is the guy who owns Violet Barn, and he has developed a lot of varieties, and they all have fun names. So I think that I'm going to put in Rob's Cool Fruit and Rob's Combustible Pigeon here toward the front where they'll have plenty of room.
We need to watch Steven. He is offering cash for fingernails.
I'm very confident I can take Steven in a fight.
And Coro said he would definitely smoke the combustible pigeon.
Well,
and that's true, Coro, because he says Texas Teen stays tiny. I thought everything was bigger in Texas. You know, has that been a lie our whole lives?
I know. So I've got combustible pigeon and cool fruit. I think that I will put in, let's see, I think that I will put First Love kind of right there.
Aww.
And Bunny Hop maybe right there.
Hop on down the bunny trail.
Blue. Maybe I'll put that right here. And that with Texas Teen. I think I will save Texas Teen for my other one. Let me think how many holes I have in my other one. I think I need 2 for my other one. So maybe I'll save 2 back.
Jenna says that the cash for fingernails is a Family Guy reference. So no stranger fingernails come to their house. Everybody saved them fingernails for Steven.
You know, I have such short fingernails. I mean, I cut them like 3 times a week because I can't stand the feeling of fingernails. They're disgusting.
Foxy's having storms at her house.
I heard, yeah, my mom and dad are getting big storms too, and Heather. So, like, you guys have big stuff moving through. It's hot here, though. It's like 90, which for May.
Now, June says there's some trailing violets too.
So, that's cool. So then there's all the other stuff. Maybe I'll get those violets tucked in and we'll proceed. I do have a lot of plants. And I don't know if we'll use all of them, but we will try. I don't remember.
Is there any nutritional value in fingernails for fish?
I mean, keratin is a very difficult protein to digest, so I don't think so.
Okay. Well, if we got enough fingernails, we could use them to escape a trail on dry dirt.
You're not going to get them from me. I have very short fingernails. All right. Then this one is Rob's Bunny Hop. It's variegated. It's very pretty, and it was blooming earlier. I forget where this was. It was right here. I think we'll put it right here.
Well, since Coro is kind of crafty, we could all send him our fingernails and he could do a craft with fingernails as scales on a fish thing. Or maybe Ed could do that.
Find a better craft material, people. Like, just find a better hobby.
It's reuse.
I guess. Oh, I didn't want to put that one right there because this one gets kind of big. Might have to move this one.
See, the fly is back home from school.
There we go. Right, this one is raw cool fruit.
It's pretty, light green.
Yeah, it's not blooming now, but when they're blooming, they'll be very, very beautiful. I'm gonna give this one.
Mine have not bloomed.
Oh, all of mine have bloomed. I mean, African violets they're pretty easy because like Dot Foreman used to grow them, and if they can grow them, they can't be that hard. They can really tolerate some benign neglect.
But I'm sure I set everything back with that overflow of the water thing. So.
Oh, yeah, because they do not like their crowns to get wet. So this one is SK First Love. This one I think has like magenta flowers. But I'm forgetting immediately what I put where. So that's that.
Now, I left my tickets in with the plant so I could, track it later.
That was smart.
But, as most of them have died except for 2.
Yeah.
Now they look like tombstones.
Oh. I guess usually I really do care about what variety is what, but in this case, I guess I don't.
Yes.
All right, so the African violets are in, and the gloxinias are in, or they're
pretty.
Gloxinias, the streptocarpus. So let's get some bigger ferns in there and stuff. So I have my ferns are looking really, really sad. Just so sad because it's been hot. This is I'm not sure what variety this is, but it's pretty. It's really magenta. So
a little fern.
It's really like fluorescent lime green. It is not magenta. I don't know where that came from. But And they're unlabeled. So who knows how tall they'll get? They could get really giant. You know, we'll find out. There's a fern right there. And do I have another one of those? I do. And it is also likewise looking really just pathetic. But I think it'll bounce back. So you can see he's looking a little sad.
Yeah. A little tender.
But it's going to be so happy in this.
I left some, what is that? Creeping Jenny or one of those in my first like gallon jar terrarium that we did from, the Walmart thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I left, of course, it's on the porch and it's been out all winter long. And
oh, wow. Creeping Jenny survives the winter here too. It's a plant I don't even buy every year.
Well, that canister thing was full of that.
Wow.
It grew and grew and grew. That's the only thing that stayed growing because I haven't tended to it or anything. It's just in there.
So I'm putting in another tiny fern that has no label. It has very fine foliage. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
And who can say what it is,
It kind of looks like wisteria.
Yeah.
But on the land world.
Yeah, it has really pretty foliage, and we'll just see what it does. So we're gonna get some selaginellas in here now because I really, really love selaginellas. They do so well in terrariums.
Now, what are they?
Really pretty one. So they are an evolutionary offshoot. They are related to almost nothing, maybe closer related to a fern than to most plants. But there's one genus in that entire kingdom. Well, not kingdom, I guess phylum. And
Zen says it's mystery fern.
Yeah, I mean they're not really even ferns though. They're selaginellas. They're their own thing. There's only one genus in that phylum, Selaginaceae, and the genus is Selaginella. And they grow kind of like ferns, but they spread a bit more. And I love them. I just love them because they do so well. So here's just another one, the same one. It's really reddish. And what I do to one side, I'm going to do to the other if I can. Can't always do that, but it's nice if you can. And
your buddy Mike, All Things Fish, said, "This show stinks. Change the channel."
You can bite me, Mike. You can bite me. All right, so that's another selaginella. So how are we thinking so far?
You could put a zip tie on that and leave the ends off for Mike.
That's a plan, Dee Dee.
There's more than one way to get him.
There's more than one way to get him, Mike. I'm going to put some more selaginellas in because I really do like them. They are so nice and easy to grow.
I've never heard of those. That's kind of cool.
They are really hard to grow not in a terrarium. But in a terrarium, they are really easy. And they creep a little bit. So, like if your moss dies, well, your selaginella will just take over. So I'm going to do some on the other side.
He said, "Stupid land plants," and here's Stephen P. chiming in. Stupid land plants, getting all dry and shit from my neglect.
I mean, these are not that dry. These are kind of damp. This is damp.
Well, and you can put them in that $500 Biorb and they won't get dry.
That's right.
There's ways to get around that, Stephen P. Even you can have land plants.
So here's another one of those really fine ferns that has no label. And, these could get enormous. I really don't know because they're not labeled. And
now, if it was to get too big, would you just pull out the whole plant or would you clip it later?
It depends. I might be able to clip it or I might just pull it. I'm willing to take the risk. So Let's
Well,
see.
you're just gonna have to make believers out of Steven and Mike because they're being sassy in the chat.
Some chat sass. I can't
Yes.
read chat. I don't have glasses on. I'm not. We'll just. Your sass is going unread unless Dee Dee reads it. Here's another Selaginella. I'm really trying to do a lot of Selaginella because I know that it will spread and look great. It will stay low and kind of creeping.
You know, they're down in the land plants, but I think secretly they both are just so fascinated and probably will both of them will probably get some soon and try it.
I hope so. I mean, I got Steven to get a pond. So, I mean,
Yes, you did. And it took a while, but you did get that to happen.
I did. I mean, I wore him down. And I guess eventually maybe I'll wear Mike down. But, you know, the problem with Mike, I guess one of Mike's problems, Mike has
Yeah.
problems. He's not home that much. And we can't ask his wife to do any more work. She does enough.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to ask them to do stuff, especially if they're not really interested.
Right. I mean, she does enough. She has to be a mom. She has to take care of the pets. Like, she has her business. She needs a break. So we can't ask her to do any more. So this is another, I think this is some kind of maidenhair fern. I don't know what kind it is. It is not labeled. But I'm going to put it up here. Stuff it in.
Jenna has a suggestion. You should encourage Matt to go over and take care of Mike's fish and potential new ponds.
I love this idea. Get to it, Matt. I don't know, is Matt in the chat?
No, I have not seen him, but you never know. He does lurk here and there.
He could be lurking. He could be. I'm sure he'll watch this on the replay. This is high quality content right here.
Absolutely.
Who would want to miss this? Let's see. Where are we at? Do you have any Selaginellas left? I mean, these Selaginellas, I don't know if they are alive.
Now, Matt did lose power earlier today, but I think, I don't know if it came back on or not yet.
All right. Well,
I can't remember.
Hope he's doing okay. So he is west of my parents. So I don't know if they've gotten the storm yet. This is a very sad looking Selaginella. Hopefully it will come back. If it doesn't, well, that's that.
Oh, Matt does have his power back.
Oh, good. You know, the Iowa power grid is much better than the Texas power grid. Poor Texans. You guys.
For sure.
Just, wow. Texas has its good points.
Cora, the only livestock she's going to have in there is springtails.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'll put some isopods in there. I don't know, but I did put some isopods in my other one, and I've never seen them. So I'm loath to really spend money on them. I mean, I believe they're healthy for the system, so I don't mind that. This is another random ass fern. I suspect this one could get really big. Maybe I'll hold off on this one. I don't know. I suspect it could get really big. So, other things that I have. This is oak leaf creeping vine. It's Ficus pumila quercifolia. This is a creeper. See here, it has cool little leaves. It stays very, very teeny tiny. I might put in a cutting of that. And then this is a, can't remember what it's called, like a something in bones cactus. This is related to Christmas cactus. This was a gift from my friend, and I do have some of this in my other terrarium. I don't know if I'll put this in this one or not. And then I also have a couple of cryptanthus.
Ooh.
And I've had these for a long time, and I just haven't used them in a project yet. I'm not sure where I'll put them, but I seem to be running out of space.
Now that whatever that last plant, did they have some with a pinkish tinge?
They do. They have pinkish.
Okay, because
they're also called, maybe they're called earth stars. So
I
they
have one of
are,
those.
yeah, so they are, they're related to epiphytes, bromeliads. They're bromeliads. So like pineapple is a bromeliad. I mean, if you live in
Well,
Florida, you've seen lots of bromeliads growing. Most of them are epiphytic, but these grow on substrate, and they survive a lot more dry conditions than most of these plants.
now Roxanne has a very technical, sciencey question.
All right, let's hear it.
Where is she at? It has flown past me. Oh Lord, I've lost it. Daggone it. She wants to know, where would species random ass fern grow best?
Well, all ferns kind of like the same climate, and that is temperate, so not too hot. They like damp conditions. They like wooded, shaded areas. And the reason for that is because their gametes need to swim through water to unite. So that's true with moss also. So that's how their fertilization happens. Their sperm and egg have to swim. Whereas most of the plants that you're familiar with, like seed plants, they don't have to do that. The gametes don't have to swim through water. And so they can take more dry and hot conditions. So, I really want to use one of these cryptanthus, but I'm not sure where to put it.
Now, Coro wants to know, you're doing all these terrariums and you still haven't done a microalgae tank yet. What's up with that?
Because, the logistics of saltwater, I just don't have a way to solve it.
Well, Mike thinks that if you're just scared, you're scared.
No, I just don't know where I would put the RO unit. I don't have a place for it in this house. So if I move to another house, which I don't know, maybe that'll happen. I don't know. I don't really have good plans these days. You know how some people have their lives mapped out on 5-year plans? I don't have that. So
Nah, that's too much. That's too much work.
I have plans through the end of this month. And that's it. I think I want another tall fern in the back, a random ass fern, scientific name. I think it's a maidenhair fern, but it is not labeled. It could get enormous. Who can say? We'll find out. But I want that to go right here.
Now, Lady R says, if you're interested in a future companion for this terrarium, she's growing some seeds of Myrtle's special plant. And once they're hardy enough, I would love to send you some.
Oh, Myrtle's special plant. Well, so in my other Biorb, I had a flower bloom from a random seed on the day Myrtle passed.
Oh.
And, I'm not really a person who believes in signs, but I feel like it's the sort of sign Myrtle would send, right? He would send you flowers. It's what he would do.
Well,
Or he would send cats.
If it makes you feel better, enjoy it.
That's right. Or Myrtle would send cats. He would send cats. But please don't send any more cats, Myrtle. I have enough. I'm full up.
Mike said you could grow some high-grow chai in there. Dr. Foreman.
Better than an aquarium. We all know that's true. Oh, that is a plant that wants to die. I really want to use a cryptanthus. I'm gonna find a spot for it. I don't know. This one is looking a little ghetto, but whatever.
They're putting all these plant names in chat to see how bad I can mess them up. But Steven says his Aponogeton robinsoni from Myrtle has flowered 4 times in the last 2 months. And I have no idea if I even came close to that name.
Oh, wow. The Myrtle Aponogeton. That's so cool. He's trying to propagate it. He'll get there. They'll get there.
Yeah, because everybody wants a piece of Myrtle.
We
So
do. We miss
we
him.
sure do.
Miss
We
him.
don't want to lose any part of him. Oh, my camera has died.
Oh gosh. Well, are you still there, Dee Dee?
I'm here, but my charger apparently.
Oh dear. I mean, people will get to see my torso a little more. That's exciting. Just a headless torso.
Well, you know, there's places for everything.
There's places for everything. I like that. So I think I'm going to put this dragon bone, or what is it called? It's something in bone cactus. And it is related to a Christmas cactus. Where do I want to put it? I think I want to put it right here. I mean,
So now your terrarium has a boner in it. That's great.
well, why not? And that one may get really big, and it may end up, but you know, that's just that. So I have one more big fern I can put in, and I am trying to use these up because, like, it's hot out, and they're just gonna die.
That's right. Pack them and stack them.
That's right. So this is another random ass fern. I suspect this one may get big. This looks like an osmunda fern, which those get like 4 feet tall. So this one may not stay. I mean, it just.
Coro was asking another sciencey question, Kelly. This is a real science question.
Okay.
He wants to know how long does pollen stay viable, because I use a pipe cleaner to pollinate flowers, and I wonder if you kept it in a Ziploc bag or something and waited for the next one to flower to pollinate.
I don't think it's going to stay viable that long. Pollen has a pretty short half-life, because I've never heard of anyone being able to really keep it for that long. So I don't think that's, I mean, it doesn't hurt to try. I don't want to discourage you from trying. However, I wouldn't bet on it. I'm just moving a couple things around over here.
Mike suggests maybe freezing it like they do baby brine shrimp eggs.
I don't think it will freeze well. I don't think it will freeze because it's not evolved to, there's not a single plant I can think of where the pollen is viable over time. No, it's not evolved that way. It's evolved for immediate use, because a plant wouldn't make pollen unless it wanted to be fertilized immediately. You know, because plants fertilize, or plants flower only under conditions where they can make seeds. So it doesn't hurt to try, you know, but I wouldn't bet on it.
So Mike said, keep shooting him down.
I know. So what do I have left for plants? Oh, that Earth Star looks really dumb right there. I'm going to move it. I mean, it looks kind of dumb right there, too. Because what you do to one side, you should do to the other. And now it just just doesn't look great.
I kind of like that it's got more weight on the one side. It's sort of like, when you part your hair on the side as opposed to the center.
Yeah. I'm just also trying to keep in mind the growth habits of stuff. I do like it better in the front there, because it will stay pretty small. But I want to give those 2 African violets that are in the front a little bit more room to grow. I do like that better there than elsewhere. But maybe I'll put one of them up high. Maybe that would look okay. I mean, I'm just trying to use these up because, like, I don't think they'll survive the summer. Because my office can get really hot.
Oh, I see a kitty. I did pay attention. There's a kitty.
Oh, there's a big kitty. It's big kitty. Fat kitty is asleep. Hey, kitty. So, yeah, I think I'll put this one higher up. Maybe I'll put it like right there.
Now, here's another sciencey question.
All right.
Zen Ginger wants to know if you grew a pink flamingo in a more terrestrial environment, would it grow? And if so, would it stay pink?
It will grow, and I've seen other people do it, and they don't seem to be pink. They seem to take on more. I mean, they have kind of a pinkish tinge, but they seem to be more green. I mean, again, like, don't let me stop you from trying. Like, follow your bliss. I don't like that.
She has that lucky pink thumb with the.
She does. He does. I mean, you know,
I still want to get another one because you think this will be the one. This will be the one that'll make it.
I know, and I too have played that game. You know, I kind of like these up high because they kind of remind me of pineapples when they're up higher in the scape. So.
And of course, Mike wants to know if you're going to inject that with CO2.
I am, Mike. It's called the atmosphere. God, someone was asking, like, oh, would my houseplants go better if I hook them up to CO2? I'm like, all right, whatever. Seems like you don't understand something, but I like those better there. Those look cute up there. I like that. That's not bad.
Yep.
All right. I'm getting close to being done. But this time in this Biorb, I need to do something nice for Foxanne because she was very unhappy I didn't do it last time. And that's to use some oak leaf creeping vine. So the cool thing about this plant is you can just cut it. You can just take cuttings of it and it will just root. And it will cascade all over this scape and just do what it does. I'm going to just put some right there and maybe a couple other places and just let it creep, creep, creep.
Okay, now that she will be happy.
That's right. Well, she's not happy because she's sick. So we have
but I'm sure she's feeling better because you're doing that.
Oh, whatever helps.
And Mike says another way to explain cascade means it completely takes over.
What was that?
Mike says cascade, aka completely takes over.
Yeah, it will, but it's pretty easy to keep in check. So we'll just let it do what it does. And if I don't like it, I'll remove it. So I think we're going to start putting in some moss.
Roxanne is happy now because she's got to have the ficus, so we've made her day.
So I'm tucking in some moss right now. Hopefully I have enough moss. If not, I'll hydrate. I have more moss, but it is not hydrated. So I can put some more in later. But I'm trying to just tuck it around plants to give it like a finished look.
That will really, when you get all that kind of stuff, it does make it look really pretty to start with, too.
It does. And it doesn't always do that great. That's why I put a lot of the selaginellas in, because like once they get going, they'll take over and they'll creep and they'll look really good. And I don't know why, but for me, they do seem a lot hardier. So.
Now, are you going to give us an update maybe every 3 months or something?
I mean, that seems unlikely. I haven't updated you. I mean, maybe, I don't like to overpromise over here, I'm not a great content maker.
Now, Mike says, Dr. Foreman, can I use some video from the stream for B-roll? I'm making a top 10 land plants for Biorb video. And he will give you the credit.
That's Mike's favorite kind of video. Top 10 list of things.
It would be so funny if that was his highest rated video.
I know. Wouldn't it be, though?
Oh. Yeah, he's the one that got me going into the CO2 thing.
Oh, well,
to
see, and you
even
know
to
what?
even to even think we could enjoy doing stuff.
You know what? And you do enjoy it. So
I
he
do, I do.
he had a point because
Mhm.
you're pretty good at it. You grow great
Well,
looking plants.
it has really made the difference in planted tanks or dying planted tanks for me.
Yeah, it does make a huge difference in what you can
Right.
grow. I mean, I wouldn't want to have 10 planted tanks. That
Well, I have 8 tanks running on it right now.
wow, but you're retired.
Yeah,
You can do
yeah.
that.
But it makes it, and a lot of them are shrimp tanks.
Wow.
But it just helps everything look much nicer.
Yeah.
Even though you don't have lots of substrate and stuff, it just helps.
Yeah. Well, and the nice
Am
thing
I,
is,
oh, I'm frozen again, I guess.
oh
Let me
no,
do this again.
oh no.
I'm the frozen queen. Let's see if I can do this. Not be gone too long. That's because I let my phone run out of complete power.
Oh
I
no.
didn't push it in hard enough. I didn't push it in.
Hopefully people can still see me or my torso rather.
Yep, we sure can.
Well, that's
There we
good.
go.
So I'm trying to
I'm
get the
back
front,
live again.
looking pretty good at least.
Thank you, Cora. I didn't know that. I hadn't paid attention. I was watching so intently.
It's because you're a pro level mod or a pro level co-host.
You know, it's all about that Biorb right now.
That's right. I mean, because I can't really see chat unless I like bend down.
Well, if you had a low hanging top, your ratings probably would go up.
I don't think they would. Dee Dee, you and I have different kinds of figures. Let's put it that way. I am not that busty. Yeah. I don't think there's a huge
I don't know. There's something for everyone.
there's something for everyone. I don't think that anyone gets famous screaming as a 46-year-old woman on the basis of their looks. I think that ship sailed.
You just got to work harder at it, hon. Coro says there should be a Dee Dee and Kelly yoga class at the Clash.
You know
No,
what?
not
I
gonna
had
happen.
a request to teach yoga at the Clash. I couldn't do it last year because I was speaking and I was just so busy. But
Well,
maybe
I can say this. I would participate in it, but I reserve the right to pat everybody down to make sure there's no cameras.
I would teach yoga at the Clash. It would be a nice slow flow.
It would be.
We would not.
Now you got to let us know so we can bring our yoga mats and stuff.
Yeah. And if you have a block, you want to bring your block. That's nice to modify poses. But I can teach a nice slow flow. Yoga doesn't have to be hard. I mean, the kind of yoga I usually do is power yoga, power vinyasa, which is a
You
lot.
should do a live stream with some of us because you would actually maybe get some of us to actually stretch that mat out. Mine is rolled up really nice and tight.
That's true, but that would have to be a private live stream because I
Yeah,
don't really.
Absolutely.
That's for friends only.
Absolutely.
Which everyone in this stream could attend, but strangers, I don't know.
No, do a private stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to teach on yoga online because, well, for one thing, the kind of style of teaching that I'm trained in, you don't demonstrate the poses because it's meant to be taught in a class. So in a class, there's always someone who knows what they're doing. So you can watch them. And then the teacher goes around and they adjust people. So that's
Well, you
another.
can be resourceful and set up some videos like Roxanne does for like the super chats and whatnot, but
Yeah.
put them all down with the different poses and play them while you stand back
Yeah.
and
I mean,
discuss. So you're not
or
actually doing the poses; you're actually teaching those.
another thing
What
we
the,
could do is we could make Jake do it, and I would teach the class, and you could watch Jake because Jake actually has really great looking poses. His form it's very nice. He's been
well,
doing
Mike says he would pay a cover charge for that, Kelly.
He's been
And
doing
if Jake is going to do it, I might pay a cover charge too.
I mean, he's pretty hot. I mean,
Yeah, he is.
I'm just saying, he's pretty hot. But his poses are really nice. Like, he's been doing yoga for a long time. He's not super flexible, but he's very strong. And his form is pretty good. So, he's a good person to watch in a class.
Yeah. Make sure he wears those little tight yoga pants.
I'll make him wear a little tank top for you, Dee Dee.
Yeah.
He'll do it. He'll do
Yoga
it.
is taking on a whole new outlook for me. I'm getting excited about it now. uh,
I'm lucky our
uh,
yoga studio has lots of men in it, which is very nice. I love seeing men do yoga. It's great. You know?
well, they need to be flexible too. Look how flexible Tommy said he was.
Right. Well, and the thing people don't realize, so I remember one time the St. Francis University um, football team all came to yoga class and they were dying. They were dying. It was amazing. I'm like, oh my God, these poses are so hard. And it just did my little middle-aged heart some good because
That's right.
it was a good feeling. So I'm running out of moss, but that's okay because
It's looking fabulous.
you put the moss in and you're like, oh, that's not bad.
That looks great.
So I guess the moral of the story is to buy a lot of moss. Which I think that this package of moss was like $15. It wasn't that much.
No, that was worth it because it sure made it pretty like right now.
Yeah, and the thing is, the moss is a little fussy. And if it dies, the selaginellas will take over and they will kind of do what the moss does. So that's okay. All right. I think I'm out of moss. But how's that looking? What time is it?
It was good. It is 3:38 my time.
Oh, heck, we're doing great. So, this little cryptanthus, I can't see it.
See, me, I would have something pink right in the middle of that somewhere.
You know what you would have in it, Dee Dee? You would have some little like Christmas figurines. And Jake would love that. That would make
Or a baby bromeliad or something with some pink on it.
some pink. Well, a lot of those African violets are pink. They will bloom pink. So give it time. This little
Roxanne said she'd have some purple in it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, these are pinks, purples. I didn't get any white ones. I'm not really into white flowers as much. But
Yeah, they're kind of like funeral flowers.
yeah, I mean, I try to make myself buy some white flowers for outside because they blend with other colors. But, I really just want a riot of color in my outdoor planters. I just want it to look crazy and out of control. And so I'm trying to like tuck this underneath the African violets because they don't really want wet leaves.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm the streptocarpus also. They don't want to get too wet. I have to move this guy.
Yeah.
Let's see.
It's going to be beautiful. I can't hardly wait to see it, which we never will, but you know.
Well, you know, maybe I'll show the other one because it is looking pretty good. I have to do some sprucing up on it, but it's pretty good. It's survived pretty well, and I do almost nothing. I mean, like I said.
Well, it has inspired me to go in there, pull out those dead African violet bottoms, and go get some new ones.
Yeah.
In mine. Because it was really pretty when I set it up. Well, you can see behind me. See how pretty? That was when it was brand new.
Nice. All right. Well, let's see. Give it a good look. Then I have to clean it with some paper towel. That's not bad. And now, like, you know, all that stressing I did about the hardscape, now you're like, yeah, well, whatever. I can't even see it. So,
yeah. Yep.
It's like, who cares? And the thing is like, it looks like it's too short in the back, but there are a lot of ferns back there, and they will get very, very tall.
Yes.
So, you know, we have to give them room to grow. All right. I'm going to get a damp paper towel and wipe this down. So they give you some distilled water. So hang on a second. I'll be back.
Okay. But I guess if it really bothered somebody, they could buy a little piece of fake fern and stick it right there at the top, and that way it would kind of look like it was ready right now. If it bothered you.
But it does not bother me. I'm fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks pretty good as it is.
Yes.
And so this is the funniest thing. So they give you this stuff called humidimist, and this is to go in the mister. And you're supposed to only use this proprietary water in the mister.
Absolutely.
Which is so sad, because it is just RODI water. That's all it is. So you could just, I bought like a gallon jug of, because I don't have an RODI unit, but you can buy distilled water from the grocery store.
Yep.
So.
Now, let me ask you, since it's just RO water, are you going to be having to put some nutrients in there, or are you just going to depend on that soil mixture?
No, the substrate is nutritious enough, and then the springtails will help unlock more nutrients, which I could go get the springtails, but we're going to clean this off first. So I'm using RODI water to clean this off because I don't want water spots. I mean, not that they'll hurt anything, but no.
Right, yeah, you want to look in there.
Yeah. And the nice thing about acrylic is it has a lot of clarity. So it looks really good. But just trying to clean off a little bit. And then I'll reach inside.
I can imagine that as glass, trying to put those stones in there.
Yeah, I mean, and this thing is pretty heavy. With glass, like, it would be really, really heavy. I mean, I don't know if I will move this myself. I may wait till Friday when Jake gets here and have to move it. That's what I did last time. It depends on how heavy this is, but I may wait.
That's like I had one of those little 6-gallon aquariums, and I took it outside to hose it down and clean it really good. And lo and behold, I hit it on something and made a chunk come out the side. Which it still held water and everything, but it's like, man, that tank sits right above my computer and everything. I'm not risking all these electronics. And lo and behold, the other day I did something to it and hit it on something else, and now I've got another ding in it. But it's outside with water in it. But I would not trust it for nothing.
Yeah.
It's like, and I barely touched it on either time that it cracked. I barely touched it against something. Don't take much.
Doesn't take much. And I mean, this substrate is very wet, and I'm about to water this. So I haven't watered this yet. The false bottom holds, it's more than a liter. we'll find out how much it holds because I'm gonna water it.
Well, Cora, when she moves, she is planning on setting up an RO system and everything.
I am, and everything is going to get a bigger tank. Everything is getting a bigger tank. My rainbows, they will get a 200-gallon tank.
Oh, wow.
That is the plan. So we'll see. You know, the housing market just, it's not great. Like,
Nope.
things
We
are
were talking about getting another house, a bigger house, so I could have an actual fish room, and that kind of stuff too.
yeah,
But what you're paying for is just inflation.
I know. Hang on, I'm gonna get some tap water.
So to me, it's not worth it for the extra money, because this house is paid for, so we'd be basically starting all over. And it's like, no, I can't make myself do it.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I would be moving from a very low cost area to a higher cost area. So, yeah. So I'm just pouring water in.
Then I am pretty strong for a broken down old woman. I really am. I'd move anything I need to in here. I did this 125. My husband was gone for that weekend. And now he had helped me bring the stand that I built out of 2x6s and 2x8s. And it was sitting here, but I painted it, drained down the 125, emptied it, took it off the old stand, put it on the new stand, took the old stand out of here, slid everything back and refilled all by myself. He said, how'd you do it? It's like leverage. When you're by yourself like that on projects, you learn leverage.
Well, this may be full enough. So this has a little, you can't see it, but there's a little capillary down here. And that way you can keep an eye on the water level in the reservoir. And it's about halfway up the capillary. I might add just a little bit more. So that's a full liter of water I put in there. We'll add maybe another quarter of a liter.
Now, how often do you have to add water to the other one?
I've only watered it like twice.
Okay. And
I set it up in November or something?
So the system keeps itself pretty much.
Yeah. Now, this summer, I may need to water a little more. I mean, it really depends. Oh. Well, we're leaking.
Uh-oh.
Well, hopefully that's just that I overwatered this. Let's get some paper towels down. So it's leaking at that capillary, which does not make me happy.
That extra little bit.
Oh my God, it's just gushing. Just gushing. Now, do I not have it in there? Is that the problem? I think I have it in there. Let's move this out of the way. Oh, it is just gushing. Maybe I filled it too full. Maybe that's the problem. But also it looks like, yeah, I think I filled it too full. Well, let's see if I can put something down there to catch that.
I think that happened the last time too, didn't it?
Probably.
Well, now, see, Cora, if this was a bingo square, you could check that off. Now, it's overfilling, so it is water.
So I'm just put a little dish under here to catch this. So, if this happened last time, I forgot about it completely. But I'm just letting it drain. Just letting it drain out of here.
Well, if that was a bingo square for a spill, leak, or overflow on stream, it could be considered.
I know. This is all to help you guys with your bingo. That's what I live for.
And our fish tanks, in the line of sight here. So yeah.
I could have unboxed this on stream, but I took it out of the box before we started. I'm like, oh, I could have made people's bingo cards better, but I chose not to.
Well, Jenna says, does Kelly want to just list all of the aquarium fish she knows?
Tetras, cichlids, rasboras, rainbows. I don't know what else is on the bingo cards. Gouramis.
Your favorite plecos.
Oh, God. I have never owned a pleco.
And of course, the corridors, the bottom feeders, as they say.
Bare bottom tanks. That's one nobody talks about. Why would God? I don't want to keep a bare bottom tank. Yep, still leaking. Come on, still too full.
And well, could you be more specific about the region of cichlids?
I should have stopped. I should have just added 1 liter of water. That's on me. I should have stopped.
Zen Ginger really needs somebody to eat on the stream. Is there an extra leaf or something you can chew on?
I mean, it's really dirty over here. I don't really want to eat. I could drink. How about that?
I don't think that counts. But Foxy says if you've never owned a pleco, you're going to have 3 in 2 weeks.
No plecos. This is a pleco.
She's going to let them dry out, Foxy, because she won't let no pleco in her planted tanks.
I will take them straight to the pet store. No plecos. There will
so
be
Mike says, well, Dr. Foreman's Biorb leaked at the capillary. Sounds like substantial enough evidence that they should pull them from the shelves.
Oh, right. N1. No, it's doing what it's supposed to do. I mean, it's supposed to do this. I filled it too full. This is user error.
You're just overzealous. That's all. And I think once you caught the overflow last time, it stopped.
Yeah, I probably did this last time and I totally forgot about it.
Roxanne, do you remember if she did or not? I feel like it happened.
I mean, it seems like something I would do.
She said, if Roxanne, Jenna says, what if Roxanne visits and slips a pleco in a tank while you're not looking? You will never see her anyway.
I don't want plecos because 1 pleco is the equivalent of like 8 rainbows of bio load. And I would rather have 8 rainbows.
And she likes rainbow poop.
Yeah, they don't poop as much as plecos. I don't see what the point of plecos are. I mean, they don't clean your tank. You can never see them. They poop a lot. Like maybe
I don't know. All my plecos are out and about a lot. But
they still look like plecos, and plecos are kind of ugly.
They kind of are, but they're also kind of awesome at the same time. I've got I still have one of the long fin chocolate covered plecos that Steven sent us, and I don't have the heart to take it out of the tank because.
Well, I mean, love is love.
He just looks kind of cool when he shows up. He lets us see, and he comes out every day with a feed.
You can't. The heart wants what it wants. I guess your heart wants plecos.
Yeah. Now I moved all the plecos to the 55, but that one I couldn't catch, and apparently a baby I couldn't catch, but I kind of decided that one can just live till it gets too old in there. Yeah, they're chocolate covered. Steven sent them to me, and of course Butterfly was there, and we put them in the tanks, and I told her what they were. She said, "Oh, the chocolate covered plecos." So they have always remained that.
Oh, that's sweet.
And Zen says she got her bi-yearly clown pleco sighting the other day.
Okay. This is
now Foxy has a point because she puts a pleco in the lotto tank to clean up Ed's caves, and they were spotless in 2 days.
Well, I'm not convinced. I don't want them. I do not want them. I do not want them in a box. I do not want them with a fox.
You don't want them here and there. You don't want them anywhere.
I don't. I do not want Plecos and ham. I do not like the Sam I am. This is some quality content here. Kelly just drank overflowed dirty water. This is high quality content. Let's see if that's.
Well, you know, Kelly, since you're a doctor and everything, it's making the rest of us feel really better about ourselves than we do this kind of stuff.
All right, let's pour this out. Oh, I just spilled it. That was great. High quality content.
See, that could be a thing. Somebody could get a little form for fish or something and make some chocolate candies and mail them out for presents.
I mean, I'm all for more chocolate. Like whatever you need to do to get more chocolate in the world.
You know, they have the goldfish crackers, and that went over like a hit. So I could see how chocolate fish could do the same. They would work for me.
It would work. Yeah. Well, hopefully that's good enough. So lesson learned, don't overfill it. And I probably said this last time and completely did not learn the lesson. I probably forgot. So I'm going to just dry the inside of this a bit. Just a paper towel.
It does look really nice though. It really does.
It's not bad.
And they're Swedish fish. There's all kinds.
I don't like Swedish fish. You know, I don't really like candy that is not chocolate.
I don't eat them either. But now I will eat the little goldfish crackers.
Yeah, I'll eat goldfish crackers too. Yeah. I mean, I won't go out of my way to buy them, but like if they're in front of me, I will eat them.
So this might be something for Rico. Chocolate covered Swedish fish, snag or gag.
Yeah, I mean, I think he would call it a snarf. But maybe not.
Enrico eats fishy stuff. He said it before.
He does. He does. Maybe not the most exciting snarf, but a snarf. You've sent him some snarfer barfs, haven't you?
Well, mine was good tasting stuff.
Oh, yeah. I sent him the pine cone jam, which she said was weird. I think it was ultimately declared a snarf because that man is not hard to please.
No, he'll try anything, and some of the stuff is like, oh my God, I can't imagine.
God, he really will.
You know, you have to do a mixture of good stuff and that gross stuff.
Yeah, he will eat some things that you or I will not eat. So,
but if I run across some gross stuff, I will get it. I haven't sent stuff in a while, so that might encourage him to come on more often if there's more snarf and barf.
I know. I was glad to see him streaming today. I don't know if he's lurking, but Rico, I missed you. So this is the top.
And Foxy said that he will eat spotted dick. So.
No comments. So I'm putting the top on this. It just screws on.
You have to screw it in there. Okay.
And then.
Yes, we have Miss Rico. He's been a very much a loss, just like Jess when she stopped streaming every day.
I miss Jess. I hope she's doing well. But I do really miss her.
3G says she's rebuilding. Remember how she wanted to redo her fish room in that little room on the side of her house? I guess she's working on that.
That's exciting. Well, here's the top. So let's connect the electricals.
Now, is that little fan I see at the top that's lifted up?
Yeah, so there's a little fan, there's a little light. The LEDs they're like around the rim. Connect this. And can't quite remember how I did this. So this is the plug. And
I take it you threw the instructions away?
No, I have the instructions.
Oh, you just don't read them.
This right before the stream. I still have them. But we'll see if I can figure it out. I figured out the last one.
You did?
Well, Yeah, because I set it up on the stream. So
And Roxanne has an excellent question that needs to be addressed.
okay.
Will you be giving one of these Biorbs away today, Kelly?
No! Wouldn't that be something?
It sure would.
I know. So I'm gonna fill the reservoir of this up. This is the humidimist, but it can just use regular old RODI water is fine. But since I have it, I have like 3 or 4 bottles of it, so why not?
Yeah.
And let's plug her in. Do I have a plug?
It sure would be fun to ship.
Yeah. You know, I would probably just buy one for you off Amazon. But I'm not gonna because that's a lot of money.
That's how I ended up with the 15 Flex. The company sent it straight to us, the one that we gave away on Fish Fair Christmas. And it's like, man, I could never figure out how to reship that thing. So I just bought Jimmy P, who won it. I just bought him one and had it shipped straight from the store.
So we just unplugged something. I'm not sure what.
Uh-oh.
Also, like, what kind of crappy adapter is this on here? This is like a European plug. Where's the American?
Oh, is there something else in the box?
Well, then here's a different plug. Here we go. Here's an adapter.
Okay. Yeah. Because that's like with your CO2 art, I think you get different adapters with that one too.
Yeah, I'm trying to get this off and I can't quite.
Well,
Huh.
you got to work it good.
Like that. Is that Europe? Because I have like 3 different plugs that I can choose. So apparently this one was not originally intended for the American market. Because, God, I cannot get it off there. I wonder if I need something to poke that down. Let's see my tweezers. Oh, I could have been using my tweezers to aquascape, but I didn't. I cannot get this thing off. Oh, there it goes.
Ah, there you go. Snatch it.
So we're switching it out for the American plug.
Well, that's probably way easier for a company than making ones for this and going here and making sure it all goes right.
Yeah, I mean, they're an international company.
It's a waste of money, but you know, it's easier for them.
There we go. Is it lit up? Yep, it's lit up.
Yes.
And can't remember where the switch is. Let's see. It's been a while since I've done this. Somewhere.
And it's not somewhere over the rainbow.
Huh. Let's see. Because there's the Mr. switch, and I can't remember where it is. Because I'm feeling under the rim. It's like, let me go check on my other one, because I remember where it is on there.
I remember the same thing last time. They must hide them pretty good, so you don't really see them.
Can't remember.
It's
been a while.
Probably point it right out for you.
Is that it? I mean, I'm pushing something.
It is pretty.
I thought that this was the Mr. Because I am pushing a little lever.
Is it a fan running?
What?
Do you hear a fan running on it, or?
You know, it's so quiet. You really can't hear it. And it's too noisy in here because I have the air conditioner running and yeah, this is definitely the lever. I don't know why it's not going. Maybe it's not full up enough. Let's try again. Well, crap. I don't know why it's not working. To make Jake fix it.
Just check your instructions form real quick. See where the lever is. Make sure.
No,
you
I'm pushing the lever.
Oh.
I found the lever. It's in the back by the outlet. Do I have it plugged? I have it plugged in because the light's on. And that's in. It's on in place. I mean, there really aren't a lot of parts to this, so. I don't know. Well, that's disappointing. Because I'm definitely pushing the lever. And it is doing nothing. Disappointing.
Well, it looks like Jake's going to have to work on it.
He's going to have to fix it. That's that. You know, the funny thing about Jake is his entire job is nothing but fixing things. And he hates fixing things. He hates it. I mean, he'll do it. But he does not like it. I mean, he does not enjoy it. But too bad. That's that. I mean, it's definitely plugged in. The light's on. So I don't know why it's not working. I'm pushing the lever. So it has a humidity sensor in it that will automatically deploy. It has a little carbon filter here in the top that I'm patting. That doesn't really do anything. I mean, there just aren't a lot of parts to this. Let's see. I mean, it looks like I have this plugged in correctly. I'll go back and I'll read the manual and see if there's something I didn't set up right. Did I not put enough?
It's probably just something not set.
Yeah.
Right.
I know. Let's put a little more water in here.
You know, like those food processors, if you don't click that certain thing, it won't come on.
No.
Well, if you get it to go, and you'll have to put a picture of it on Instagram.
I know. I'll put it on Instagram if I get it.
Or on your community page.
Oh. Yeah. Well, guys, sorry for this anticlimactic content. But I don't know. It looks pretty good. And the thing is it doesn't need to be misted. It's fine. That it's very damp in there. It's a closed environment. You know, those plants are perfectly happy. And let's see how heavy this sucker is. I have a feeling this is pretty heavy. Oh, yeah. I will wait. We'll have Jake move that because I don't want to drop it. So, well, anyways, thank you, Dee Dee.
Well, you're certainly welcome. I hate the Roxanne mistake.
I know. I hope you feel better, Roxanne. I want you to. Those germy children got you sick. But thank you, everyone, for hanging out with me. This has been fun. And I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. And the plants are happy because they were about to die. So
yep.
I had to get it done. But yeah, if I get that mister working, I will put a little short video of it up on my.
There's a new name in here, Rainbow Brat. You know that person?
Rainbow bread. Oh, hello, Lori. Hello. Lori is one of the the uh, the admins of Rainbow Fish Live. So
Okay.
I have
So
one
you
of your
just showed
plants.
up on her TV.
What's the name of that one Christmas cactus relative? It's like something bone cactus. I have a little cutting of that in here, and I have a cutting of I have all some of the other cuttings you gave me are in my other Biorb. So yeah, but anyway, she sent me that. She sent me a whole box of really cool plants. So yeah.
Can you give her a recap of what plants you used?
Okay. Well, so a lot of ferns of unknown provenance because they were not labeled. And a lot of different selaginellas, also of unknown provenance. I have a lot of dwarf African violets. I used, let's see, one called Dust Bunny, Bristol's, or oh, those are the Streptocarpus. Or so Rob's Cool Fruit was one of the African violets, and then also bunny hop and combustible pigeon. So, and then two Streptocarpus, they're mini Streptocarpus, and a lot of moss, and that's mood moss, and two Cryptanthus. So, a lot of stuff. Not all of it will do well, but enough of it will do well that it should fill in pretty good. So, yeah.
And your little creeping plant, what was that? A ficus.
Oh, yes, you're right. Ficus pumila quercifolia, oak leaf creeping thing. I put a couple strands of that here and there, and that will just grow and creep and take over. It'll look pretty good. So, you know, the cool thing about the other one is I had all kinds of weeds coming out, and I had ferns popping up other places. So that was kind of a fun surprise. I had liverworts, but I mean, these are pretty fun. I wish it was working, but maybe Jake can get it to work. So,
You
because it
said
has.
to send her a picture later. She might can try to ID it for you.
Oh, the little epiphyte. So it's that thing that's related to the Christmas cactus that you sent. It's like finger bone cactus or something cactus. It has bone in the name that you sent. But I have a little piece of that in here. So. Yeah, she sent me a whole box, and I did an unboxing on Wet Your Plants. That was a couple months ago. So, but most of the stuff she sent is doing okay.
I think I remember that too.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a good unboxing. So, and if only there had been Fish Fan Bingo, then you could have gotten a bingo square.
Dancing bones, she says.
Dancing bone. Thank you. Yeah, I have another piece of that in my other Biorb, and it is doing really well. So it didn't bloom. It dropped all its buds after you sent it, which I guess that makes sense. I mean, it was stressed. But maybe next year it'll bloom. You know, we'll see. But it's doing okay. So anyways, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. And just thank you, everyone, for being here. And thanks for watching. And thanks, Dee Dee. And we'll see you all later.
Okay. Thank y'all. Had fun.
Bye.
And you're still alive. Did you push the button twice?
Ah!